Shalom, shalom. I'm just going to wait for some folks to come on in. Another impromptu video. Come on in, family. I'll just wait on you to come on in. You know what? While I'm waiting for you guys to come in, let me stick this in the chat. And I'll see if I can put a link in. I don't know if the links work. Shalom, shalom, beautiful, sunny vibes. It's good to see you. Let me see if I can share a link. Let's see. Copy. All right. Shalom, shalom, everyone. It's good to see you. This is the link to it. To the waterproof. Shalom, shalom. Aware and Awake Movement Empress Sherry Harn, Monica, Danette Daniels. Shalom, shalom, beautifuls. It's good to see you all. Good to see you all. So the title of this one, this video is Doing Without Making Do. Making do is one of those things that you hear that's old school, right? I'm showing my age. Making do. You know what? How many of you in the chat, if you don't mind sharing with us, how many of you in the chat are prepping in some form or fashion? How many of you are prepping? Shalom, shalom. And you know what? Let me ask this question too. That's one question. How many of you are prepping? And how many of you know what it means to prep and why? Why are you prepping? Shalom, shalom. It's good to see you, Mama Bear and Ava Stewart and Susan Zittle. It's good to see you guys. Okay, I'm seeing that you are saying, yes, ma'am, I am. I'm a prepper. Okay, very good. Okay, Mama Bear says definitely says good morning, sisters and brothers. Let me highlight that one, but it's definitely giving you suggesting to us to please prepare for the future. Make sure that you have plenty of things for you and your family. That's correct, Mama Bear. Thank you for joining us and thank you for sharing that. Absolutely. So we know that there is a need to do these things. We know this, but there are others that are not they're not preparing and they're not prepping for their own individual reasons. But family, I am here to kind of give you a little bit more of a warning. If you are on a budget and you don't think it's something that you can do, I'm here to tell you you can. I started out on a budget and prepping, and I relied heavily on the used to be called the dollar store. Dollar Tree used to be a dollar store. So I would go into the Dollar Tree and pick up supplies, a little bit here and a little bit there. I would never spend over, $20, if you will, at a time when I would go in. So if you're on a budget and you feel like you cannot do it, you can. You can start little and then, grow it. And I would suggest that you start right away while we still have time. Okay. Sherry Harn is saying if you're on a budget, where's that at? One of the things that she suggests is you can go to food pantries to get some of the canned goods that you can store on your shelves for, almost eternity because they will last a long time. Yeah, there is an expiration date on some of them. I know that. I'm when I say eternity, a good portion of those cans, if they're not damaged, will last for a good long time. They have a longer shelf life than most of the experts would tell you that they will last. if they are still sealed, if you will. All right. Shalom, shalom, Flo Hughes and Karen Mack. It's good to see you, beautiful women. Mama Bear says the University of YouTube is fabulous. Please write down formulas and how to make soap and how to make anything. And a time of stress, we can forget a lot of stuff. So paper and pen is always your friend. Hallelujah. You know what else is your friend in times of need? You're gonna be looking for, because you might not be able to go to Walmart to pick them up, or Target, or any of the bookstores that are out there, or the library. You need to get you some books. A lot of these books, I shared with you guys some of the books that I have on hand, and I have an extensive library of books that will share skills that you can pick up and learn. So yeah, that's a good one, Mama Bear. Shalom, shalom, my beloved brother Jerome. It's good to see you there. Good morning to you too. Okay, so family, doing without and making do. When you are not prepared for the disasters that come our way, let's say you're not prepared. Many folks don't know what it means to do without. You think that they would, because doing without pretty much means that you can't afford this and you can't afford that. But we think that old school, we think, oh, okay, well, you just do without, right? You do without or make do. But that's not the case with a lot of people. And we're going to find that out when things go south, completely go south. You're going to find out that people aren't going to go with the idea of doing without, make and do. You know what they're going to be doing? They're going to be knocking on your door. Why? Because they know that you're prepping. Why? Because they know that you may be prepared, and they are not. They're not going to do without. That was what I was taught when I was growing up, that you do without or you make do. If you don't, you if you don't have enough at this point, you stretch what you have until you can get to the point where you can buy more or do something differently, right? That was old school. Nowadays, people don't think that way. Nowadays, they think, oh, I don't have it, I'll go get it from somebody else, right? What did you do with them, D. Cooper? Please tell me you did not throw them out. Please tell me you did not throw them out. You say, good morning, Mary C. and family. My daughter and I just got finished going through expired and almost expired cans. Please tell me you did not throw them out. I am not a proponent of wasted food, not at all. So, what you do is when you get to the point where you have something that may be questionable as far as the date, you use those first, eat those first. Of course, check them to make sure that they're not spoiled or rotten or anything like that, But okay, Whew. Whew. I feel so much better. You say no, indeed. No, don't get rid of your food that's good, even though the date on it is has gone. The eat by, or no, use by date has expired. Family, the stuff is still good. Don't get rid of it. Okay, don't get rid of it. Mary C is the type of person. I'm really old school, because Mary C is the type of person that if I open up if I open up a jar of jelly and there's a little bit of mold on the top, but the rest of it looks okay, I'm gonna scoop that mold out. I'm gonna clean up the top part of that jar as best I can, and we're gonna eat that jelly. Not the moldy part. That part we're going to throw out. But we're going to eat that jelly. Family, we're going to get to a point of needing to survive. Needing to survive. I put a link in here. I'm going to put the link in again one more time. See if I can do that. And let me see if I can go and get the name of this video. You need to watch this video. You need to go. This is just one example. Okay. This is just one example. Okay. I'm putting a link in. I don't know if the links work. You guys have to tell me on your end how it looks when you see it. Okay. So here's a link. This is a video, and it is giving you information on a town called Waterproof. I don't know if you're familiar with it. I don't even know if you've heard about this situation. But see, so much goes under the radar. They don't want you to see. They put so much silly stuff in the news, that stuff that's important to us we don't find out about until later on. Okay. But this is one of those things. Okay. Okay, Susan Zittle, you know exactly what I'm talking about when we talk about cutting mold off of stuff, right? Family, we're gonna get to the point where you're not gonna be too good to cut the mold off of your food, off your bread, off your cheese, get it out of your jelly or whatever else you have to get it out of. You're not gonna be too good. You know why? Because you're gonna be hungry. You're gonna learn to do without, or you're gonna learn to make do. That's part of the make and do. That's part of the make and do. You know who's going to survive? The people who will survive all of this are going to be those who can do without and those who can make do. Those are the ones that are going to survive. Those that lean on other people, depend on other people to provide for them, they're not going to make it. Because after a while, people are going to get tired of them leaning on them. You know, you're going to be generous up to a point. When it gets to the point where you are putting your own life and your own family's life at risk to help someone else, you're going to draw the line. You're going to go back to them and you're going to tell them, you either are going to do without or you're going to make do. You can't keep depending on us in order for you to survive. We can't keep doing that. So Waterproof, Louisiana, they have a water crisis, family, a water crisis here in America. All right. This is another area. Okay. We heard about the one in, what is it, Detroit or Michigan? I believe that's where it's at. They've been having problems there forever. Well, this is another one, another major another place in America that's having major issues with water sources, with good, clean drinking water. And we're talking drinking water. Let's take it even further than that. The man in the video, one of the residents in the video, describes how he takes a bath. You know, you take a bottle of water, a bottle of water, and you warm it up, and that's what you use with a washcloth to get yourself clean. A bottle of water. Okay, because the water that comes through the faucet is dirty, or it looks contaminated. It's terrible. It's terrible. And sometimes they say that they don't even get anything that come through the faucets. It's completely cut off. You know, and I'm not laughing at the situation. I'm laughing because so many people in this country are going to be caught off guard. They're not ready. They are not ready with everything that's going on, with the 18,000 heads of cattle that were destroyed, with the over 120 something odd instances with the food processing plants becoming destroyed, with the farmers' fields being flooded out from one year to the next year so that they can never recoup. We can never recoup the produce that has been lost, the produce, the wheat, the all of that has been lost within the last, I want to just say, just the last 4 or 5 years since we've been, meeting together and doing these videos. The food that would normally go to market from the farms has been reduced considerably. With looking at the supermarket shelves and seeing that there are things that are not being replaced, they're gone and they're not coming back. With looking at the supermarket shelves and seeing that many of the items, it takes a while for them to replace, and that the stocks are never ever what they were 2 years ago, 3 years ago, never ever. With seeing all of that, that's all of what's been going on, there's still folks that are still not ready. They're still not ready. You're going to have some things and you're going to have to say no to some people. You're going to have to say no. And when you say no, you're going to have some people who are going to be very angry with you. And you are going to have to learn to deal with that. We want to survive. We do. I asked a young person the other day. I know this young person personally, okay? So I didn't have any there was no hindrance with me asking. You know what? We're going to come to a point where you see the food is going to be short. If you don't see it, I'm telling you, the food is, there's a shortage of food right now and it's getting shorter. Same thing with water. And I point blank asked, what are you going to do? Because this person has children. What are you going to do when you can't just pick up and go to the supermarket to pick up what you need? What are you going to do? And I got a embarrassed kind of chuckle before this person said, I don't know. I can guarantee you that is probably at least 75%, at least 75% of the young people today that have families, that have children. And I would say that at least 95% of you, kind, beautiful people in the chat, are of a mind that you don't want to see any children suffer. Am I right? Because the Heavenly Father has given you a heart. He's given us all a heart. We care about our neighbors. We care about our family and our friends. We care. We care about the children, and we don't want them to go without. We do. Yeah, see, I know that because I'm that way. And we don't want to see the children have to suffer, even if their parents didn't prepare, even if their parents didn't do the right thing by them. We all want we want to do right. We want to do good, and we want to have the Heavenly Father look down on us and see that we are trying to do our best to live the life that He wants us to live and how He wants us to live it. Right? Shalom, shalom, Terry Ann. It's good to see you. So family, what do you do? What do you do? And I believe we're going to have to face this. I want you within the next few days to go out on purpose. I know we don't follow the news too much, but I want you to go out on purpose and look for the stories of people right now in the world, people in the world who are suffering because they don't have the basic needs. Water is one of those basic needs. And again, I put the link in. I want you to look at that because these people are telling you what you're going to need to do. If they're not per se saying get ready, plan, prep. They're not doing that. But what they're doing is they're showing you this is what we're dealing with. And in your mind, you should be saying, well, if this is what they're dealing with, how are they managing? Look at what they're doing. And then you look at yourself and your family and you think, you put yourself in that spot and you think to yourself, how will we manage when we get to that point? Because it's coming. I want you, this is an assignment, to go out and look for the stuff that the mainstream news people are not putting out there for you to see, but you need to see because it might save your life, your family's life, somebody in your neighbor's life. It may save a life. Okay, it may. The other story that's out in the news right now that I'm paying attention to is what's going on over in Sudan. Okay. Why am I paying attention to that? Because that's over there and it has nothing to do with us. Well, yeah, it does. Okay. I'm paying attention to it because I'm hearing stories of folks over there that are told, they were told to, what is it called? Something in place. What is it called, family? Shelter in place. Okay. Because they're fighting over there. Okay. They're fighting. One person I heard giving an interview said that she was just, doing her normal routine. And then all of a sudden she heard this boom, 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 boom. And at first thought, firecrackers, what's going on? And not too far away, there was actual bombing. And she was kind of thrown off a little bit because that was not what she was expecting. They're bombing. And then they, you hear the sirens and what have you and telling you to take shelter and all of that. Well, they were told to shelter in place. So, family, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, and this is something else to think about. One lady was telling the story of her parents. Just think, if you have gone to work or you've gone to visit someone, you're not at your home. Stuff happens and you're told to shelter in place. That means that wherever you are, you're stuck. Wherever you are stuck. And family, that means you too. If someone happens to be at your place and they're visiting you and they're told to, to shelter in place, that means that's an extra mouth. Depending on how long it is, that's an extra mouth that you need to be prepared to feed, to take care of. Are you getting a little bit of what I'm talking about? A lot of the times when we talk about prepping and planning and things like that, we've talked about maybe being on the job and having to try to get home. We've talked about that, but we have not talked about, oh, voila, here we have a situation and you have to shelter in place and you may have somebody at your house that's not your family. You may have somebody that's in the area that has to find shelter and you just happen to be that place. We haven't gone there. We've not gone into that place. We haven't thought about that. But watching these shows, these real events take place over in Sudan, I'm watching this and I'm saying, I didn't think about that one. So this lady's parents had to shelter in place, someplace that was not their home. And the family there had only enough food for a certain amount of days. So here they are trying to ration out their food, ration out their water. Okay, not only that, but this elderly man didn't have his medications with him that he needed to take on a daily basis. His medications were at his house. Family, these are things we need to consider. These are things that we need to consider. Are we able to do without? wherever we are and make do? Or do we need to plan ahead and say, I'm going to keep a certain amount of my medication with me wherever I have to go? I'm going to make sure I have a certain amount that will last me so many days. If I know I can't do without this medicine, if I know I can't make do, and I happen to be out, and I have to stay where I'm at for a few days, will I be able to do this without my medication? I'm just bringing things up, family, so that you can think, that you can be prepared. How do we do that? We do that by, again, your assignment is to go out and on purpose look for news stories that they're not putting on mainstream, the news channels, because for one reason or another, these events that are taking place in our world will help you to survive, will make you think ahead, because that's what it's been doing with me. I'm watching the folks out there in Louisiana, and of all the places, what was the name of the place? That, the name was just ironic, right? Waterproof, waterproof Louisiana. All right. And the title of that one was, it says Waterproof LA, Mayor on the water crisis. We're falling off of a cliff. It's dire. It's dire. You need your water. You need your water. Okay? Mississippi. Oh, I forgot about Mississippi. Thank you, Flo Hughes. Mississippi is also, but these are just a few places. It's going to happen all over. It's going to happen all over. When we get to the point where, good morning, my sis. I didn't see you there. Good morning, sister. Love you. Okay, Monica. Wow. I'm working on it. You know what? I probably do. I probably do at the most two meals. And sometimes my husband and I will do one that he calls it dinner. So it's a combination of lunch and dinner. He calls it dinner. So we'll do just the one. We'll do dinner. Okay. So you say, Monica, I'm at a point that I only eat one meal a day. I think this will come in handy. I think you're right. And my body will be accustomed to it. I think you're right about that. I think you're right about that. And we do it too. We do it too. Not as much as you, but we do it also. And I think that it will be a benefit to us all. Oh, I didn't hear about the chickens, Flo. What happened with the chickens? That's a lot of chickens. You're going to have to give me a little bit a heads up on that one. I didn't hear about the chickens. And you're right. The devil is here to steal, kill, and destroy. Him and his minions. And they're doing a good job. Doing a good job. It's good to see you, Marie Reader. Shalom, shalom to you, sweetheart. How many of you in the chat? D. Cooper. Bring it on, sweetheart. You're right. You said a friend of mine told me that they aren't worried about what's going on, right? No, because God will provide. I wonder how many of those folks that were around Noah at the time when he was trying to tell them that the flood was going to happen, how many of them were saying, God will provide? I wonder, because there's nothing new under the sun. How many of you in the chat have heard this? Because I've heard it. I've heard people saying that. I'm just going to trust God. We trust him. We trust him. Hmm. Hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Wow. Excuse me. It's good to see you, Ruby Powell and Deanna Jones. It's good to see you guys. So what are you guys saying? You know what you're saying? Oh my. You're saying in the chat that these parents, what are they going to do? They're going to be parents that are going to know that you will help them. Why? Because they know that you don't want the kids to suffer. So they'll sit back and they'll do nothing. Does that mean that we won't help them, Marie? Is that what that means? That we won't help them? Because we're still going to be concerned about the children, right? We'll still be concerned about the children. So what do we do, right? I hope so. I hope that the messages go out. Karen, thank you. You said you're saving lives, Mary C. I'm here because of the Heavenly Father. As always, I will give him glory, honor, and praise. It goes to him first. But when I see something, and in this case, the waterproof Louisiana story, when I see stuff like that, it makes me think, is this something that the rest of the family is aware of? And if they're not, maybe I can go and share this with them. So that's what's going on right now. And this the situation that's going on in Sudan. And I always, everything in my head is, and I don't know why at this point, but it has been this way for many years. But everything in my head when it comes to lack of shortages, things like that, my mind automatically goes to, what would you do in the event of this, and this? It automatically goes to stuff hitting the fan automatically. My husband's mind is the same way. And my mom, she chuckles at my mindset a lot because I'll go out with her. We spend a lot of time together, and anytime we go to any new facility, I just took her out this past week, and we were in a place that I am not all that familiar with. So it was a new facility for me, and we're sitting there waiting for her to be called, and kind of did her arm like this, and it said, "Mom," I said, "Look at the room that we're in." And she knew where I was going, so she started laughing a little bit. I said, "Look at the room that we're in," and I said, "If someone comes in and starts shooting, or something happens, which way are you going out of here?" She looks around, and she automatically, because there's a big window that's on the side in that room, and then she sees a little door, and she's, for some reason, she thought the door was a door to go, an exit door. It wasn't. It was a closet door, and I paid attention to all of this stuff, right? So there's only one entrance into the room that we're in, and so one in and one out, right? Glass panel doors. I mean, not doors, glass panels that were tall, in a closet that had no knobs. It was a sliding closet like thing. And so her thought was, I'm going out that window if I have to, because I don't want to go back out that entryway that's only one. And so she's like, I'm going to go out that window. And it's so funny because there was a couple that was in the room with us, a young man and his lady that were in there. And not unbeknownst to us, they were actually listening, or he was at least listening. Well, mom, when she speaks, her voice carries, okay? And so she was saying, I'm going out of that window there. And I said, well, mom, what I'm going to do is I'm going to assess the situation. And I'm going to look, because I'm looking outside in the hall. There are a few doors out there that have knobs. If we can't get to the entrance or the exit to get out, one of the things that we can do is we can get to a room to hide, if nothing else. I'm not trying to break this window that looks like it's bulletproof. Because it's going to cause whoever is out there, if they're hearing, they're going to hear the noise that's going on with us trying to get out, and we may not be able to break that window. You know what I'm saying? So I'm constantly looking for ways to survive, family, ways to survive. How will you survive situations? If you are going into new areas and you're not paying attention to the exits and the entrances, you are putting yourself and whoever you're with in danger. You are. That is the mindset that I have today. And I think that it's the mindset that many of us should have if we want to survive. Now, if someone comes in and you're right there in the midst of the entrance of where they come in and they get to spraying, it's going to be a little bit harder for you to maneuver out of that situation. Yes, I get that. And every one of us is appointed a time to die. So I get that as well. But if you can avoid it, if it's not your time, you do what you have to do to survive. You do what you have to do. And if that means you find a place that has a doorknob, not something that is easily opened or closed, you find some place and you hunker down until it's safe for you to get out of there. But it was funny because the young man, hearing the conversation, you know what he said? He said, "I'm with you, Grandma." He said, "We'll break that window." I said, "Okay, y'all break the window. I'm gonna find some place safe that I can go to." Okay. But I thought it was cute that he chimed in. He chimed in. So, but I mean, and that might be the solution. Who knows, right? Depending on the situation and what's really happening. But my thought was, I saw the exit signs in this place, and the exit signs led to the entryway of this place. Okay, the way this place was set up, the entryway was it was like a series of halls that you had to go to get to the exit of this place. So it wasn't the whole place was built wrong. That my opinion. I told Mom, this is a place that you could get stuck in. Not easily not an easy place to exit. So if somebody came in that was of a danger one way, you had to find a way to get around that, and it was not an easy thing to do because it was you go through a series of halls to get there, which would have left you kind of exposed, if you will, and everybody in the area that was in there would have been exposed. And I could just see the chaos with everybody trying to go through that, go out that same way. And I just no. Mm-mm. So my thought was not to even be a part of the mess, to get away from the mess as quickly as I could possibly do that by going into one of the offices or one of the rooms that had a doorknob that I could, put something in front of in order to stay safe until it was safe to exit. Okay, and so I need all of you. I need all of you when you go out and about to consider the facilities that you're going out and about into. You're look at the exits and the entryways. Look at the rooms that you may have to be in when something goes down. What can you do to protect yourself? You might have to do without a weapon, but you can make do to make sure that you're sheltering in a place that could be safe. Okay, I not only watch, uh, look at, at the place that I'm at, but I'm also assessing the people that are there. Okay, so I'm checking the people out. What kind of people are in the same, environment with me? Okay. So that's something else that you need to look into too. And so Marie Reeder says, I do the same thing. I watch everything and whoever I'm with. I have no idea. I don't want to scare anyone. No, I'm constantly, and I mentioned it to my mom so much so that, like I said, she gets a chuckle out of me sometimes. But I get her to think. I get her to think, well, what can I do? What will we do in the event that this goes down or something happens? Because it's right now, you can't even walk up to the wrong car. How many times? How many times? Because I'm guilty. I don't know if you guys are, but how many times have you gone out to the grocery store, supermarket, whatever, and you've parked your car, and there's one that looks similar to yours that you've actually walked over to? How many times have you done that? I now have something on the back of my vehicle that sets me apart. Okay. But there are enough vehicles that look like mine that are out there, right? How many times has that something like that happened? How many times have you walked up to a door of a people, family that you don't know and rang the doorbell? How many times have you done that? It just so happened that on that day that you did it, you were able to walk away safely without somebody shooting through the door. Or like the cheerleader that went to get into a car that she thought that she came in, and it wasn't. It was a mistake. Or how many times have you gone down the wrong street and you needed to turn around and you turned around in a driveway? Okay. So, am I being overly cautious by telling you guys to be careful? I don't think so. These are the times that we're living in. These are the times that we're living in. And I have to stress this because I did get one question, and I got one question that came through based on how I represent me in this channel, and how I represent me in this channel is through love. I'm constantly talking about love, LOVE, and some people I don't think they actually get what I'm. They get it. I don't think they get it. I don't think they mean any harm. I don't think that they mean to be disrespectful or anything like that. I just don't think that they get it, that they understand this kind of love that I talk about all of the time. Okay. And so I got a question yesterday in regard to the elderly white man that shot the black teen. Someone came into the comment section, and again, I don't think that they meant any harm. Okay. But the question was, do I love the white man? And it was expressed like that. Do I love the white man that shot the black teen for ringing his doorbell? And this person said, I really want your answer. Uh, thank you. You know, one of those things. I really wanted to know what your answer is. Thank you. And so I have to stress, family, everything that goes on in this world that the devil is behind is evil, right? I have to stress that. So when you hear Mary C on here expressing that we need to love our neighbors as we love ourselves, because that is what the Heavenly Father has suggested that we do. He's given it to us as a commandment to love our neighbors as we love ourselves, right? So to say that I love evil is wrong, because I don't. I don't love evil. What the man did was evil. It was evil. Because his skin was white, it was a white person that did something evil. So, am I to hate white people because this one white person did something evil? Hey, let's think about this. The whole premise of why I say on this channel that we're not racist is for me to tell you that there's two sides. We talked about it yesterday, two churches, good, evil. We hate what the Heavenly Father hates, but we love what the Heavenly Father loves. And He loves His children. He says He doesn't want to lose not one. He loves His children. So we hate what He hates. So what this man did was evil. Do I hate this man? Or let me say that, let me go back. Do I love this man? No. Do I hate this man? The answer again is no. What he did was evil. So what I did was I brought up the black man, and I hope you guys can see this. I brought up the black man that shot and injured the little 6-year-old white girl. What he did, and he shot her dad, who ended up in the hospital. I still don't know what condition her dad is in. I'm praying that he survives. But this was a black man that did this, and it was against a white family. All right. Do I love the black man that did this evil? No. Do I hate this black man that did this evil? No. But here's what I said to this person that asked the question. It's not for me, it's not for you to decide what should happen to these people. That's between them and our Heavenly Father. That's between them and Yah. They will have to give an account for the evils that they've done. All right. So it's neither a black issue or a white issue. It's got nothing to do with the color, the shell that they're in at this point. Were they either one of them racially motivated? Probably. I can't say for sure because I'm not in their skin. I'm not them. Were they racially motivated to do what they did? I'm going to say probably. I can't say for sure, but I'm going to say probably. But so what? We all need to get to the point where we see evil for evil. Evil is evil and it doesn't have a color. You're going to have white folks doing stuff. You're going to have black folks doing stuff. Is it racially motivated? Possibly. But you know what? You look at it and you say, well, you know what? Yah's got that. That's not for me to get vengeance on, or for me to know, because you're going to get into the flesh. You're going to get into trouble. You're going to sin. And that's not what we want to do. So when I say that I love people regardless of their skin color, but I'm not going to sit up and tell you that I love evil. What is there about evil to love? I don't love evil. So when you hear me on here saying that, I love my white brothers and sisters that are part of this family, they're not committing crimes and they're not participating in anything evil that we know of. We can love them. It's okay. We can. And it's the same way that I love my black brothers and sisters that are on this channel. And I don't just point and paint them all with one brush and say, because one person did something that was evil, that they're all that way. I won't do that. I can't do that. So when you hear me say I love my neighbors as I love myself, and I don't care what color they are, I can do that. You can too. It just means that you've gone to a new elevation, because not everyone can do it. Not everyone can do it. They get stuck in the hurt. They get stuck in the hurt of repeated oppression, repeated abuse. They get stuck in that hurt. And when they get stuck in that hurt, they can't love because they're angry. And in many cases, they have a right to be angry. But my heart prays that they don't get stuck there and stay. to acknowledge the anger, to acknowledge that you have a right to be angry, acknowledge that things have been done that were wrong. Acknowledge all of those things and then move on. Give it to the Heavenly Father and then move on. Don't get stuck there. Because when you get stuck there, you can tell that you can't love other people. And you're not viewing them as individuals, you're viewing them as a whole group of people. All of them are the same. And sweetheart, you would not want someone to group you in and say that all of those that look like you are the same. So don't do it to others. That goes back to the, treat your neighbor like you want yourself to be treated. The golden rule, right? You would not want someone to paint you with that one brush that they painted everybody else that looks like you, because you're not the same. So don't do it to anybody else. I hope that makes sense. I hope that makes sense. So at this point in time, if you go anywhere, you should be looking around to make sure that where you are is safe. Is there such a thing as a place that is of safety? Not really. We can say I went to this neighborhood and it wasn't safe. No, it is. You can go in any neighborhood. I don't care if it's the most luxurious or whatever. You can go anywhere and find a crazy. You can go anywhere and find a demon. It's not the ghetto that you go into that, no, you can go anywhere and find a demon. Remember, these demons do not discriminate. All right? Mm-hmm. Ruby Paul, they will use anyone no matter what the color. And many people are open to the suggestions of the devil. I'm just waiting to see who else is going to be triggered. Who else's switch is going to be flipped? Who's next? What's next? Because I still say that these are demon seeds that are, excuse me, that are manipulating people. And then I also say that there are folks that are sleepers and they're just going to activate them and they're going to go out and do something crazy. And who knows who will be in the vicinity when it happens. And if you're one of those that's in the vicinity when one of those folks, sleepers, gets activated, will you be able to handle the situation? Will you be able to do without? If you need to do without in that area, make do. Will you be able to, um, if you're made to shelter in place, can you still survive? Will you have enough uh, supplies on you at the time that you will be safe? Okay. Carry a backpack if you have to, so that if you're caught unawares in a place that's not your home, can you make it, let's say, 3 days? Can you make it 3 days without your meds, without water, without, you know, if you're in a facility and they have like a snack room or snack someplace where you have change on you? Do you have any cash? Many people don't carry cash, so they couldn't even use one of those vending machines. Family, I'm just saying, think. Okay, just think. How many times do you go out to the doctor's office, to um, your workplace? Look around you. Vending machines. Is there a cafeteria in the building? Um, look around. And I'm going to tell you something. If you're stuck in a place And there are, if you have to shelter in place, and there are folks in this place that are strangers to you, you don't know who they are. And for the meantime, for right now, you're sheltering in place. You've been told to shelter in place, and you're in a place with people who you don't really know. And let's say you think that you're going to be there for a few days. Let's say at least 3 days. You don't know these people. They don't know you, and you guys have to make do, right? Until you can have someone either um, rescue you, or you can get out of there on your own, one way or the other, right? Just to make you think, family. Okay, just to make you think. Are you going to be one of those people early on to step forward and try to organize so that everyone is safe? Are you going to be one of those people who will step forward and say, well, this is what we need to do in order to blah, 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 blah? Are you going to tell people to stick together? Are you going to, are you going to be that person, that lead person, if you will? What are your thoughts, family? Let's see, what are your thoughts? Hmm. I'm gonna make you think a little bit. Chosen one indeed. Shalom, shalom, sweetheart. Um, in scenarios like that, sometimes we do need to have someone to step forward and to calm people down and to to set the stage so that people can think about survival. Okay, and sometimes when you don't know the environment and you don't know the people, it may be safe or safest for us to do what Jerome says, and that is to be the gray man, even if you have the solutions at first. You want to always, in whatever situation you find yourself in, you want to always sit back, family, watch the characters before you say what they're going to say, do what they're going to do. You want to sit back and just case the situation. You'll find out in the first few minutes of the conversations that go on who are the alphas or think that they are the alphas. And that means those that think that they know everything or can run things or can lead. Some folks who think that they can lead really can't lead, some of them. They just got a big mouth and will tell you what to do, but won't do anything themselves. You have to sit back and assess the situation, family. You don't want to be one of the first ones to speak up. You don't want to be one of the first ones to try to get the room calm. You sit back and watch what goes on. And in your head, you should be thinking of ways to escape. Not for the room, not for everybody in there. You should be thinking of ways that you can escape. Once you've assessed the room and you see that this one here is a loudmouth and this one here would get you into trouble if you did try to sneak out or did, you're going to leave that one there. All right. It's not necessarily for yourself. You don't mind helping other people, but you don't want somebody to be a hindrance to your escape. You don't want someone to be a hindrance that will get you killed. I might be a leader, but they wouldn't know it until I was ready for them to know it. I'm just getting you, family, to think. Sometimes, I know you heard your mother say this before, because mamas are smart. Sometimes it's best to sit back and be quiet and just watch. Even though you want to help, even though you're thinking we're in this together, and some people will get you killed. Some people are hotheads. Some people are just completely weak. If you're a whiner, you're trouble too. You know, if you just sit and whine, 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 and whine, 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 who wants to be around a whiner? Who wants to be? What solutions will a whiner provide? That's right. Okay, Denise, that's right. Everyone can't work and with others, and it's dangerous, and they can get you. They can get everybody killed. That's right. A whiner could too. A whiner could too. You ever watch the shows? My husband and I, we talk to the screen every time. You know, we watch a show. Um, a lot of times we like to watch things that give us an idea of what it would be like to have to run from something, or hide from something, or to fight back from. You know, we like a lot of the. Some of them are sci-fi, some of them are action, but we like to watch things that. And like I said, he's got the same. We have the same mindset when it comes to stuff hitting the fan. Right, we both have the same mindsets. We look around the neighborhood as we go through. We look for things like swimming pools. Why do we look for swimming pools? We look for those that have swimming pools because we know that in the event that the water is, we have a water situation that goes on in this area. We know where water sources are. That's a water source, man. That's a water source. I want you to hear that. That is a water source. And not that we're planning on knocking our neighbors off to get to their water. We're not doing that. We're not planning on doing that. But we believe that in the event that we have a catastrophe that happens over in this area, many people are going to do what a lot of folks are going to do. What is that? They're going to pack up their cars and try to head somewhere. So that means that they're going to leave these homes. Not all of them, but quite a few of them. They're going to pack up their cars and they're going to try to head somewhere. And many of those folks are going to find themselves stuck on an expressway in traffic with everybody else that's been trying to get up and leave to go somewhere. We won't be one of those in those cars trapped on highway. We won't be. So we'll stick it out and see what we, if we can, if we can, if at all possible. And that means that there will be resources that will be available that folks have left, right? So we're constantly going through and saying, oh, did you see they put a pool up over there? We look at the trees that are in the neighborhoods. We look for pine trees because there's medicine there. There's food also there. Okay, we check just about everything. That's foraging. We look for warehouses that may be somewhere within walking distance if you had to walk, that may have food or medical supplies or things like that. Anytime we are out and about, we look for things like that. And I hope and pray that you do it too. Okay. So this is if you can do without, do without. If you can make something into something that you need with the materials that you have, that's what we call making do. All right. So if you can do without, do without. Don't go bugging someone else for something that you can do without, because we're going to have enough of those I don't want to call them freeloaders, but I don't know what else to call them, that won't prep for themselves. And they will come to you and they will ask you for help instead of thinking, can I do without this item? If you're making oatmeal, but you're used to having your oatmeal with sugar in it, can you do without? Are you going to go to your neighbor's house and ask for some sugar because you're used to having it that way? Don't be the don't be the neighbor that out that what is it, wears out their welcome. Don't be that. Especially at a time where folks will be rationing things already, to expect someone to give you something that they themselves may be rationing for their family is wrong. And there will come a time where us good people are going to say no at the expense of you or somebody else being angry with us. And we'll deal with that when we have to. So if you are one of those people who are used to begging and borrowing, you're in for a rude awakening when it comes to surviving. You're going to find out you have less and less friends as the days go by. Okay? So, family, we have reached an hour, longer than I had planned on being here. I just want you to think. I really do. I want you to think about every situation that could possibly happen. Again, your assignment is to go out and find the real news programs that are telling you what's going on in the world. Uh, Sudan, like I said, right now there are a few places that are talking about Sudan. Listen to what the people who are caught up in that mess have to say. What they have to say will help you to survive when the situations happen here. I put that link in with that one post about, um, I forgot the name of the place already, Louisiana. What was it called? Waters. Let me go out and see, because see, just that quick, I forgot. But you need to um, I've lost it. Waterproof Louisiana. Waterproof Louisiana. So I got tabs up open, and I just got a lot of them. But anyhow, so Waterproof Louisiana. Go out and look at that video that I shared, and listen to the families. Listen to the people is what I'm saying, and what they have to say about the lack of water, the type of water that they're dealing with, how long they've had to deal with this situation. And think for yourself, what would I do if they cut our water source off today? What would I do? Are you prepared for it? Do you have water stored up right now? Um, and think about it. If you have to go a month, that means that you will have, in that month's time frame, and you have lack of water, you would have dirty clothes. And think about your family members. If you have a baby in the house, if you have an elderly person in the house that you take care of, think about the situations that you would be faced with if you had no running water, good source of running water for a month. Are you prepared to survive with that situation? Think about it, family. So anyhow, I'm going to let you go and enjoy the rest of your Sunday. I love you all. Thank you for showing up and being here for another chat with me. Okay. I love you all, but know this, the Heavenly Father, He loves you so much more. Shalom, family. Be blessed.